Okay, let's go worst case scenario and say that you watched the Dark Crystal 1982 movie and, hated it.
I hate your whimper.
This show is still worth your time to check out. It is that flippin' good. Let's talk about it.
We are eternal!
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for the Netflix original series, The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance. I'm just giving this an A+. Right out of the gate, that's my grade, A+. I mean, come on. It's like 10 episodes long, and each episode is about 45 minutes to an hour long, so let's round up and say it's 10 hours worth of watching. I just did 10 hours straight. I just binged it episode after episode after episode. Not just for this channel, partly for this channel, but also because I just couldn't stop. Once I started, it was just so good. And from the very beginning, when I was watching the first episode, all the way to the last episode, it held my attention. And there's a lot of reasons. As I do this review, you're going to find it's probably a bit more of a reaction than it is a review, but that's okay. It was so good. I mean, first off, the story was just exceedingly interesting. It was more than just kind of like, okay, it's a prequel and it's an origin story. We gotta watch the crystal darken and the Skeksis and the mystics and watch everything. Yes, it is that, but it's told so good. It doesn't feel like you're sitting there watching, I don't know, a typical prequel where it's like, oh good, we're gonna watch little Anakin grow up to be Darth Vader. No, this feels incredibly organic, and just what I loved about it in the story is it really filled in the gaps of the movie. Now, when you watch the 1982 movie, it's good, but it kind of goes through everything really, really fast. So you have Jin and Kira, and they dream fast. And what happens when they dream fast? You're sitting there confused if you've never seen it before, and you're like, what is happening? And then really quickly in voiceovers,
what's happening? We're dream fasting, sharing our memories.
So that short scene is enough to understand what dream fasting is, but I feel like this movie kind of had a pattern of doing that, touching on a really cool part of mythology and then moving on fast to other things that are going on, which is fine. It's a nice fast-paced movie, but what's cool about this show is how it's adding to the movie because it's taking time to build that mythology. For instance, the Gelfling aren't near extinction. There's more than 2 left. There's 7 tribes of Gelfling throughout the world of Thrall. So we get to see their civilization. We get to see their culture, their different personalities, and we get to understand dream fasting, understand how important it is to their culture, and the show adds deeply to that mythology of dream fasting. And so that's just one way that the show paid attention to the details of the movie, and rather than subtracting, it added. So you go into the 1982 movie with a deeper appreciation and perhaps even a deeper understanding of things and how they work, and you're like, that is so cool! And while I'm talking about the world building and the mythology, the story and the characters are so strong. I was attached to every single character, and it shows you how much the puppeteering has advanced, that yeah, their facial expressions aren't always changing like crazy, but man, the voice actors like Taron Egerton and Mark Hamill and Mark Strong, so many famous big names lending their voices to these characters. They filled them with emotion, they filled them with passion, and so you just get drawn into these characters. The writing is good, the character work is good, the puppeteering is good. You can look at the trailer and just see that the visuals in this are stunning, but when you get past the trailer into the show, in the context of everything, it's incredible. It is the perfect balance of CGI bringing the right amount of enhancements while the bulk of this thing, the heart of this thing, being the puppeteering and being these puppets themselves. It gave me the nostalgic feeling of watching an older Jim Henson film, watching the 1982 Labyrinth movie. I felt that feeling, and there were great scenes in this that were very much like in the Labyrinth, where you had the little hands talking to each other and doing that little hand, I don't know, that weird scene, okay? You had that weird scene with the talking hands, and there was like 2 scenes in this that paid homage to that. And so it just had that feel and a great continuity of that feel, so you feel like you're watching something honoring Jim Henson. And the CGI just served to enhance that. I feel like if we watch this, all of us watch it and give it good feedback and it becomes really successful, we're sending a message to Hollywood about the balance of CGI and practical effects. Because this shows you this type of engineering and this type of talent, it ain't dead. It's only perfected over the years, and now CGI can enhance it. And I just feel like it had that nostalgia feel visually. And visually, with some of the CGI enhancements just here and there, it gave it a fresh feel as well. It was just a great balance of that, which ironically is the whole point of the story, finding that balance and finding that oneness. 7 tribes of Gelfling, all divided throughout Thrall, but they need to unify and become one. You watch the movie, the 1982 movie, and you have the Skeksis and you have the Mystics, and they used to be one race, but they're divided into 2, and they need to become one. It continues that theme in such an excellent way, without hitting you over the head with it and being preachy about it, but it just is this underlining thing in the story, and they do a really, really fantastic job with that. In a spoiler-free review, I got nothing else to say. A+. If you love the 1982 Dark Crystal film from Jim Henson, this show is just hands down a must-see. You have to add this show into your mind and what you know about this, because it builds the world that we've come to love from that movie, and it adds to it and doesn't subtract from it. If you hated that 1982 movie, then this show is still worth your time because it looks beautiful, the story is just engaging, and it is so well done. The musical score is incredible. Everything about it is so well done that it'll give you an appreciation for that 1982 movie. So, if you watched the show, what did you think? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. And if you like what I do here, check out my Patreon page. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.